Are you going to miss the old HPG? Are you one of them? If you are one of them, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Explain yourself why you liked HPG before these changes. Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here with Mechwarrior Online patch preview for August of 2021. This just came out while I was streaming live, so I figured we'd cover it live. And of course, we are doing this live on Twitch. So if you'd like to join us, head over to twitch.tv/NGNGTV. I stream Monday through Friday, 12 to 6 p.m. If you've never been here, go down below, click the link, head on over here, click that follow button for Twitch and show up. It's a really great time. We can answer your questions live, hang out, all that fun stuff. So make sure to do that. But we're going to be talking about some big changes today, and that is this patch preview. We have a new HPG. It's called HPG Manifold Reborn, and man, we have so much to break down here. Not only do we have this map to cover, we've got quirks and quirks galore. I mean, so much information. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at our first image here of HPG that we have. And holy crap, this is so much different. To break down here what's going on, this used to be the central pillar with the huge HPG tower, and it's all gone. It's all gone. We still have a tunnel underneath. It looks like there's still 1, 2, and I'm assuming 3, 4. So they're still underneath. I don't know what the underneath looks like. We have Delta 6 here, the ramp. This is quite interesting. And again, what used to just be a one-sided things looks to be a symmetrical or semi-symmetrical map here. And man, there's so much. There's a ramp over here, up to the edge here. Wow, guys, this is a little bit crazy. Let's go and take a, looks like there is a ramp. So it looks like it's symmetrical. So these don't look like they've changed here. There does seem to be completely different cover. You can potentially go under here as well. So this looks like a platform that goes all the way across. We have multiple ramps on both sides, it looks like, and then ramps up to the top here as well. So no longer will the top be limited to only shadow cats and jump capable mechs. Looking at you, Boris. And of course, there's so much to dissect here. Let's go and take a look at the next image that we have here. And again, this is from this platform here across. Now, one of my biggest criticisms of the map previously was that you really didn't have any play styles. You didn't have any options. And the options were limited because of the fact of you had this huge center pillar in the middle, which also negatively reinforced flanking, which is a good thing. But unfortunately, because of how this map's set up, it also led to NASCARing. And there's a difference between NASCARing and flanking. Just to be clear, very clear. If you use the term NASCAR and it's just because you're flanking, stop. NASCARing is leaving friendlies behind for no reason. Flanking is a part of the game. That all being said, the problem is when your heavier and assault mechs have no ability to set up on different platforms and engage or dictate range or whatever, then they get left in no man's land and they're trying to catch up with a flank when they shouldn't. This seems to be a completely different rework and thought approach, where now heavies and assaults could technically get up on the ledge here. And also where they can set up here and engage now on enemy mechs coming in from the locations. This seems to be a completely different rework. Whoa, there is... Look at that freaking thing. That I think that's from the faction play. Wow, so that's on the outside here. I wonder if that's going to be inside the zone. I have so many questions. I love the use of cover here. Okay, I love that he's added pillars here, and I'm going to be very clear. I like cover, but there isn't clutter. If you notice one clear thing, I don't know if any of you guys have picked up on this right now. There's something right now on your screen, or the lack thereof, that so many of you, including myself, is no longer there. And that's those little pillars that you'd accidentally run into and you could hardly see. There's no more of those little pillars. You notice those? Those are all gone. They're all gone. Right? That's fantastic. I love that. The little dragon's teeth everywhere that's just interfered with movement and flexibility when you have some. That's gone. So that's something I just picked up here looking at this. Also, again, you've got a completely reworked higher ground that's going to lead to so much chaos. My question here is, yes, we had a ramp right here and we had a ramp on the other side. I wonder if there's ramps over here, but they're on the outside. So it still gives the benefit of having speed and jump jets to get up there quickly. But if you have to, you can maneuver. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. You know what? One thing I thought would be interesting too is if they did a smaller ramp, but it zigzagged to go up. So like it would take you time. Anyways, man, this is completely different. Obviously I'm privy to this stuff on the Cauldrons Discord, but I've been purposefully not paying attention to the map talks and previews because I wanted to see this for the first time myself. I have not seen this. I love that aesthetic. I love it's like an HPG, and it takes away the one mitigating circling issue on this map, and that is that middle focus. You're going to have firing lanes. You still have the underground. Again, I don't know if the underground has changed at all. We have this answers my question. There is a ramp on the outside to those portions that don't have a ramp on the inside. And what is this? Is that a tunnel? That's a tunnel. We have a tunnel and we have more ramps on the outside. Holy crap, boys. We have so much to dissect here, right? So this is spawn, which means you're going to have the ability to get up here, right? You're going to have the ability, it looks like, again, there's a tunnel here. I'm assuming that goes to the other segment, so maybe you don't have to go all the way in and out. Man, this is interesting. And again, you throw on, we don't know right off the bat, we don't know spawn locations. I wonder if they've condensed them. That's something I don't know. Maybe they talk about it in the patch preview. I don't know yet. What about the cap points? Were those moved? What about Dom? Was that, all that stuff? Obviously with the Dom point being in the middle, now with all that, the verticality ability there. So wow, this is interesting. This is interesting. And I remember sitting with Francois talking about this on the podcast with him, and he didn't like that only some mechs could get up on the ledge there, and this obviously solves that. So this is HPG Manifold Reborn, and just again, wow, like just to go through these images one more time here. This is going to get getting used to here. Let's take a quick look again. Man, anytime something like this happens, again, it gets rid of the mitigating circumstance in the middle, which is that huge, just central ring around the rosy you couldn't set up. Now you're going to be able to have firing lines, but you have cover and maneuver. Again, I'm interested to know if anything under was changed here. I think Shadow Cats will no longer have the rain. Actually, if anything, they're going to have a better sense of movement here. So this is going to be interesting. I really like the aesthetic here. Very, very cool. I like this, right? I like this. I like the ability that it gives you, the ability from the start to set up and try stuff. But man, this is different. And of course, this is for the August 2021 patch. And if you're watching this, this comes out next week. Obviously, I believe it's the 24th, if I'm correct, that this comes out August 24th. A little bit later in the month. We're used to it being a little bit earlier, but wow, what a change. Okay, refreshed. Go ahead, cut. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in to the rest of the changes. First off, my initial impressions. I'm excited for this map change, as I would say probably more so than Polar Highlands, mainly because HPG, in my opinion, was one of those maps that you had no options. It was the same gameplay every single time. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of strategy to it, and I felt like the map design exacerbated any issues as far as because of the spawn locations, but also because of how the map was designed. It didn't give the slower mechs the ability to set up and be able to prep for a push without just getting rolled on by the Vanguard. So this is, it looks to be, at least initial impressions without being on here on gameplay, it looks to be a pretty big significant change to fixing some of those imbalances. Obviously, we'll have to wait to see, but this gets me excited. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the Mech Quirk Pass 1 here. From PGI's direct notes here, this patch includes the first Quirk Pass for a number of mechs. As with everything, these updates are subject to further balance changes in the future, especially as more variables are brought to the equation with future updates and changes. Lists include quirks that are added to the existing list of quirks or replacing existing values on the following mechs. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just briefly, Locust, Mistlinks, Arctic Cheetah, we've got Javelin, Incubus, we've got the Spider, Cougar, Adder, we've got Arctic Wolf. I mean, as you can see here, guys, the list is quite long and it goes on and on and on. I don't have the time, nor do you have the patience to basically listen to me ramble about a percentage. It's just going to be mind-numbing. You're not going to be able to intake it all, and I'm not going to be able to express that a lot of these changes, some of them are quite large, some of them are quite extensive. It looks to be that they're starting potentially to add some unique quirks. Obviously, there's some stuff like sensor range. It's going to be interesting if they add stuff like radar deprivation to mechs or seismic sensor to mechs and stuff. I know Naveed had talked about that, where potentially those might be added. And from my understanding is these are going to be added too. So this is the first quirk pass. It's quite extensive. Now, my thoughts on all this. The first thing I've noticed is the Cauldron is still leaning on quirks to balance the game. I have my hesitations about this. I've said this before. I feel like getting away from quirks and just looking at baseline systems is the way to go. i.e., if all IS mechs need some type of heat quirk, just fix the heat system at baseline, and then you don't have to have literally hundreds, if not thousands, of quirks out there. Same thing with structure or armor. That all being said, if that's not on the table right now, I understand why you just keep using the system as is, especially with scale not happening yet. For instance, rescale could potentially be a big game changer in the entire game as far as balance. And at that point in time, if they ever do rescale, then they could go back and make adjustments from there, right? So it's just one of those things where I understand that this is what they have to work with. I do see some consolidation, some changing of quirks or removal of quirks, and then changing things up. And like I said, this is a huge list of mechs across the board. And if you haven't checked already, make sure to go read up. And maybe you have a particular mech that you love or something like that. It does look like if it's a clan mech, some of those Omnis are getting sets of 8 improvements. Some of them are getting, variant stuff. Some are affected by all the chassis, whereas some are only variant. Same thing, just for example here, all variants get a negative 50% overheat damage. That allows the Locust to, ride that line. Also, this is actually quite significant. Let me explain why this change in particular is unique. As I mentioned in a lot of videos, the overheat heat system mechanic in the game is very penalizing for lights. Well, what does that mean, Phil? For those that don't know, you have an RNG mechanic. Anytime you cross over that 100% threshold, you have an RNG mechanic that chooses whether you take internal structure. The problem with this is it's because it's RNG and it's a flat 20 damage, some mechs like the Locust would die if it gets a left torso, right torso structure hit and you're rocking an XL engine, which almost all Locusts are, right? So that would be ultimately certain death for a Locust. This right here is interesting. That would take it from 20 to 10, allowing the Locust to survive at least one RNG to the left or right torso. So that's actually quite unique, that quirk right there, because again, that would mean the difference between a mech dying because of RNG to not. Now, for those that are worried about this, obviously the head location was removed a while back because, again, just getting taken out by RNG is not fun. Getting the heat system right now, because of how it is, doesn't allow for any changes. And hopefully maybe in the future, like we heard from the MW News where I talked to Darren, maybe this is something that can be adjusted in the future, and it's more based on a percentage or based on weight class or the time in overheat. If you barely cross over from 99 to 101, but it's only like literally like a split second, you can still incur RNG damage to your internal structure. This is a lot different than a assault mech from it occurring. Not saying that's any better, but it can take out a light mech just for literally a quarter of a second, a split second, versus an assault or heavy or medium. So this is a cool, unique thing. And of course, you're going to see other stuff like this, whether it's rate of fire changes, armor, structure, set of 8 quirks across the board. What I'm really excited to hear about and discover is some of those quirks I talked with Navid about, which is taking the uniqueness from the skill tree, radar deprivation, seismic, target decay, stuff like that, and some of those just being based in the mech. Even LBX spread and stuff like that, they could technically attach to a mech, and you have to rely less on the skill tree. But obviously you have to be very careful with that because it then compounds with the skill tree. So all that being said, this is a huge list. This is only pass 1. As of right now, I don't know how many passes. I think it's just going to be an ongoing thing. First off, thank you, Darren, for getting this up. I do appreciate it. As well as the new guy, if he helped out, or whoever else, thank you for getting this stuff up because this is fantastic. This is a lot of mechs and it's a lot of numbers, and it'll be very daunting here to just basically look at, and you can see here there's some even on the Atlas there's multiple changes here, and it's just so much information. So again, like, there's no reason for me to go line by line because in the past, the same thing, it's just too much information. So if you're interested in a specific variant and or mech, go read this. And again, it's their August patch preview. And if they get a patch notes with more information, I'll cover that when it's due. I've been told that they're going to try to get it at the end of today, and today is Friday, August 20th. But if it's not, I'll cover it when it's done. But the big thing here to me is looking at the HPG. To me, this is more substantial than some of the quirks because, again, messing with the mechs and stuff, that's all well and good, and weapon bounds, but it's the gameplay loop, and this affects the gameplay loop, where you're spawning, where you're moving. Do you have positions? Do you have high? Do you have medium? Do you have low? And now HPG might be a map that I actually enjoy. So we'll definitely have to check out this on patch day and discover it for our own eyes here and see how this performs. I'm interested to know, again, how far back this might be out of bounds. I would suspect that's probably going to be out of bounds. It's just aesthetics. It's probably the same like ridge line. It'll be interesting if they widened up the out of bounds zones at all. I don't know. We'll have to see here. But across the board, I'm really excited for this. It's a map that I loathe every single time someone votes for it. So I'm looking forward to the changes. I really like the verticality that's going to be offered. Looks like some different approach patterns as well. It's fantastic. Now, again, there might be some unique quirks added out here. You're just going to have to go through. It's a huge list, but I just wanted to bring to your attention that we do have some images of the new HPG Manifold Reborn, and as well as the a requirking, if you will, if we reuse a term in the past. But I'm looking forward to hearing from the Cauldron. I'll probably reach out to Navid or Bearclaw. PGI will have a dissect the patch and see how things are. But anyways, I'm excited for the map, excited for the changes. It's good to have the patch notes ahead of time. Thank you again. And I will cover any more news if it becomes available and get you guys that as soon as possible. So anyways, that's going to be it for me on this video. I'm excited. It's always good to have new content, and I consider this pretty much like a new content, especially with the map. That being said, for those that don't know, again, Caustic is the next map they are working on. That is public knowledge. So there you guys have it. Look forward to hearing about that and seeing that. So prepare for the quirking. Just want to say thank you again for everybody watching. If you like this video, click that like button. Let me know down in the description below. Are you going to miss the old HPG? Are you one of them? If you are one of them, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Explain yourself why you liked HPG before these changes. And you're not looking forward. Are you not looking forward to the changes? I am. But at least explain yourself in the comments down below. Just want to say thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.